Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and again this is another one where I am sharing some of the new Dina Wakley release. So again I'm working in the brand new craft journal, which is fantastic size. I have a feeling that these are probably going to be the only journals that I work in, so this larger one and the small one. I absolutely love it. It works perfectly for the sort of journaling that I like to do, particularly making cutout pages. So this page is going to have a small cutout element to it. So you can see I've started off by adding a thin layer of clear gesso. That's just to help the gloss sprays stay on the surface of the page and not sink in. And then I've used the new lapis spray, which is really bright. It's not really a colour that I often find myself reaching for at all. So this was quite interesting for me to push myself to use this. I've also used it with turquoise, and then I've just held the book up and allowed it to kind of dribble down the page a little bit. And you can see here I'm just using this. That's a really good close-up shot of my hand, isn't it? I'm using the stem of the gloss spray to add some more drips, and then again I'm going in with the lattice stencil and the sterling spray. It's just amazing. It's so shiny and really becomes the star of the page. So I think, like, don't use it if you don't want to be bold, because it is bold. I'm sure it could be subtle, but I've yet to use it and for it to be subtle, but I love it anyway. Then I'm using the stenciled Queenie stencil. This is quite an old one. I found this on eBay and it was one that I didn't have, and I just had to have it to add to my collection of Dina stencils, which is ever growing. And I'm using some black paint with this stencil and a blending tool to get that paint in. So I'm being extra careful where the details are quite fine on the stencil, not to have too much paint on my blending tool. Then I was just working out, because I wanted to extend and kind of give it like a shoulder, make it so it wasn't just a floating head at the top of the page. So I'm going to use this Little Dilutions cutting mat and my craft knife, and I'm just going to cut out the edge of the page along where the stencil goes. And you notice how I'm turning my book so that I can cut the bits that are a bit awkward to twist my hand round. It's definitely the easiest thing to do. It's a bit of a faff, but just moving your book so that you can get it into the right places is definitely the easiest way to do this. And then I've just cut all the way around where I drew in that rough idea of where the shoulder was going to be. And you can see there, that kind of works quite well. So then I'm just using the blending tool. I'm just extending that black down a little bit so that it kind of matches it to what's already there, joins it up with the black that was from the stencil. And you can see that just kind of now looks a bit more part of the page. And then I'm just going over the edge where I've not quite got my cutting right on the line. And then here I'm using the Things That Grow mask and stencil. I'm just using the stencil part, and I'm just adding some of the botanical leaf shapes onto the bottom of this page. I think this is another one of my favourite stencils. And there I've broken my rule of odd numbers. But never mind, it doesn't matter, it works. You definitely do start to get a feel for when your page is balanced, and I think sometimes even if you need to break any unwritten rules that you might have, it doesn't really matter. So then I'm using my Signo Uniball in white, and I'm just outlining these botanical elements that I've drawn on the bottom of my page here. I haven't drawn them, I've stenciled them, sorry. And that just helps to pop those out of the background a little bit. So then using also the same stencil, I love these little collection of dots that's on there, and I'm just adding a little bit of that white dotty stenciling on the bottom. And that, I feel, just kind of grounds those stenciled leaf shapes at the bottom of the page. And then I decided I was going to do some writing down that left-hand side of the page. So using quite a thin Posca pen, I'm just sketching those words in. I've already kind of walked through in my mind where they were going to go, whether it was going to fit. So I had a rough idea of how that was going to work. And it's funny, it's not until I've started editing videos that I've realised how often I sit there with an extra pen in my other hand. That's really strange. I don't know why I do that. Do not wait, the time will never be right. Be just right. So true, isn't it? Often we think, oh no, it's not quite the right time, but when is the right time? So then I'm using the slightly thicker Posca pen, and I'm just making those letters a bit more deliberate, adding a bit more depth to them. Because the journaling does work in the thinner Posca pen, but I kind of wanted the writing to be more of a deliberate focal point of the page too, so it worked with the face image. Okay, and that pretty much is it. I've also added some turquoise dots at the bottom of the page using a Posca pen, but that's a fun page in the new craft journal using the lapis and sterling gloss spray. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.